Okay, welcome to the webinar, Bitrix24, Project Management. Okay, so who are we? I am Damien Edwards, Business Development Manager of Intraface. With me I have Andy Naylor, who is our Projects Manager. Hi guys, if you've got any questions during the webinar, please ask away and we'll have a Q&A session at the end of the webinar. So we're partners of Bitrix24. We're located in Sheffield in the UK and New York. We handle all pre-sales support, so we're able to provide a demo or answer any questions you've got. We do implementation, full implementation, including customization and training. We're able to provide a hosting package should you choose the self-hosted solution, and we provide a premium ongoing support package. So what is Bitrix24? A suite of over 40 business tools. Now 1 million businesses use Bitrix to manage their activities. Available either as a cloud package on a monthly subscription or a self-hosted solution, and prices on the cloud for a standard package is $99 a month. Self-hosted is a one-off charge of just under $5,000. So why would you choose Bitrix24 for projects? Well, Bitrix includes all the tools you need to manage your projects. There's no need to necessarily integrate with any other systems. Everything exists within Bitrix, including workgroups and tasks for managing the activities of your projects. Very good document sharing. We have a very, very good extranet where you can invite your clients into, and then reporting, very good automation, and some good email integration, which we'll have a look at. Okay, so we'll get straight into a case study. If you saw our webinar last week, CRM and sales automation, you'll have seen us go from generating or receiving a lead from a web form to processing that into a company and a contact and a deal, to adding some activity to that deal and winning the opportunity. We then generated an invoice within the CRM, and within integration with PayPal we sent a request for payment. We're going to go on from that point today. We'll look at how we can execute the newly won project, and in this example we're going to look at today, we're going to look at a web design business. So we've won a project for a new website. Firstly, we will convert the CRM, the contact within the company in the CRM, to a portal, an extranet user, so they can log into the system. We'll create a new project using a form, a structured process and a form. We'll look at the process as the business process tool and how that's helping to automate this process. And we'll look at, from a client's point of view, what they see and how they can talk to your people through a portal, an extranet. And then we'll look at how a manager can see an overview of the project. So let's go into the site, and firstly, as we say, we'll go into a company in the CRM. So we're going to look at a company that's placed a new project with us. So we'll go into this one, TechCo, and what we want to do with this company is just find the contact within this business that's going to be our point of contact and our client. And in this example, it's going to be Graham Smith here. We open up his record, and we're going to run a business process on Graham. Click in here. We've got a couple of processes available: create new ticket or convert to extranet user. I'm going to use this second process to convert him to an extranet user. Now we can see that process is completed in the log down here. So we just need to say, we're saying that this is a process that is running on a self-hosted solution, on our BizPace solution. If you're using the cloud, you can run a similar process, but some of the aspects of this would need to be performed in a more manual sense. So we ran that process. Graham is now a portal user. Andy's going to show you what that process did, because as well as setting them up as a user, it's actually sent them a welcome email with their login details. So the whole process has been automated. You don't need to do anything more now. Graham can log into the portal and keep up to date with the project that we're going to create.
Okay, yeah, so first of all, we'll have a look at the extranet user that's created first. So, as Demi mentioned, we're on the self-hosted package here. So if we go into the control panel, and then if you click on the user list, you can see here that Graham has been created. And if you click into Graham, click into groups, you can see that Graham has been added to the extranet user group, which is essential for them just to access the extranet alone. So if we go into the CRM business process that was run behind this, go to settings and then automation and business processes. So the business process was run on a contact. So if we click into the templates for a contact, and there you go, you can see convert to extranet user. So when Damien pressed the link for the business process, it started the process off here, and then you can see that we have a block that's called system create a user. Now this block is a PHP block, and then this is only available on the self-hosted version. And for this, as Damien mentioned, the BizPace version will allow you to connect with the API and create this user. So in this case, it performs a condition. If the user exists already on the system, then it will notify the person who's run the business process that the user exists. And if the user doesn't exist, it will add the user to the system, and as Damien mentioned, it will send an email out to the user. So we've got an email here, and you can see here that we've included the credentials for the user to log in and the password as well. And there's also a link to the extranet so they can access that from there.
Okay, so I noticed that's a text email, but I think you can also create full HTML emails.
You can, yeah.
Yeah, so you can have a full images and...
Yeah, you can include a HTML template in there.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so if I pass you back to Damien to run the...
Okay, so we've created the user, converted the CRM contact to an extranet user. We're now going to create the project group, and we're going to invite that user into the project group. Now we're going to create the project using a form, which we've created, a custom form which is available in the activity stream. We've added a number of fields to this form. You may choose to add, you may need to add different fields to your own form. In this case, we've got a name for the project, so we're going to call it ABC project. I'm going to select a manager, which I'm going to put in as myself, and then we're going to have a development manager for this project and a designer on this, and we'll put in a deadline date towards the end of the next month.
I think because this is for a web design project, you can see here that we've got the developer fields. You may want to create another process maybe for a different kind of project, or we could also include maybe a drop-down field in here that you could select the type of project, which would display different fields.
Yeah, so it's very likely that you have different projects that have different attributes, and so yeah, as Andy said, you could create a process for each different type of project, and from the form here, select which type of project you want to run. Okay, I've added a description. I've also added a file to this project, and we're going to submit this. Okay, so as soon as I submit it, I can see in my stream that this guy's created a project, is assigned to this person, happens to be the same person in this instance. I can start this project from this link here, but I can also see it in my pending workflows over here. So it's worth having a look in here and seeing how the assignments page works. So anything that's assigned to me for my approval, should they be new projects or HR or admin processes that are being assigned to me, appear in the assignments page. And I can see the latest one is this please approve project. I'm going to accept this, and I can see a notification up here to say that it's been accepted, and this will have created a work group for me. Okay, so this is the group, ABC project. I go into the group, I can see a fresh group, and I can see that I'm the owner and the moderator, and I can see the other members of this project group. Just need to now invite my client into this group. Let's go into extranet users and scroll down. This is my newly created user from my client record, and send the invitation out. So we sent an invitation out to Graham to join the group. Graham magically has joined the group up here. We can see if we refresh the page, then we can see Graham down here, so as a member of this project group. Have a quick look at what else is available within the group. When we completed the form, we added the specification document, and that's been added to the drive, so now available to everyone in the group, obviously including the client. And then we've got a series of tasks within this group, and I can see again we added 3 different people into this group, and each of these has been made responsible for a different task. So we've got a scoping task, design, and then a task to build, ultimately to build the website. And there's a number of other features available within this group as well: calendars, discussion boards, photo libraries. On creating this group, we've enabled all the functionality available within a work group. It would have been possible within the business process to select or deselect some of these features. So things like maybe lists and wiki and photo library, if they're not necessary, it might be a good idea not to make these features available to your client.
I think another point, just to notice, with the self-hosted as well, we can actually, and we have done in the past, create actual custom pages within work groups as well. So
Okay, so you can fully sort of customize the look of the page. Yeah, absolutely.
And
self-hosted. Yeah. Okay, so let's go into, so we've got 3 tasks. So let's go into the scoping one, and let's say that we've completed that task. I'm going to flag that up to say that that's completed, and go into our next task in this group of tasks, which is design. And we've completed a design, and we want to share this design now with our client. Let's just tag in the client. He appears here in our recent activities. Let's just tag him in so he receives a notification, and we'll post this item into the task. What I might want to do also is just find my client in here and just send them a welcome message in the messenger tool as well.
I think this is a really useful tool for working on projects together, especially when you can create these tasks in an automated process that we have done. Like working and collaborating on projects such as, in this case, it's the design project. I think it gives you a really good scope to work well on the project and to get a flexibility of how you can work together.
Yeah, I think because both users are working in the same platform, then it's very, very helpful. Instead of, other than it's a lot you can work a lot closer than working over email or working on different separate separate platform.
Yeah, and I think everything also just keeps under one roof. So like we've got a project work group here, and then the tasks are separated to the people responsible for those tasks.
Yeah, so you're further dividing down the work from project into smaller groups, and you can see, as we've started to do at the bottom here, a full history of each of the projects. We can also see things like deadlines. We don't have a deadline on this one, but let's put one in. So deadline end of the week, and then we're going to look at the end. You'll be able to, a manager can then see which parts of the project are on track. Yeah. Okay. So we've added some content to our design task, and in a minute we'll have a look at what the client sees and how the client can interact from the extranet side. But first of all, if we can just have a look at, Andy, how we can set, I think importantly, how we can set different permissions, access permissions to this project group, so that maybe we can prevent some people from deleting or adding certain content to certain areas.
Yeah, I think Bitrix is really useful in terms of how you can grant access permissions for certain areas, especially in work groups, because I can imagine with you inviting external clients in, you don't want them to be seeing certain things maybe, or you don't want them to be performing certain actions. So if we go into the work group and click into feature settings, you can see here, for example, if we go into tasks, what we would usually recommend for you to do if you're going to invite external clients into your work group is that yourself as a group owner, maybe in this case it's a project manager, and then the other intranet employees as moderators, and then invite your external client in as a normal group member. Mm-hmm. So in this case, what that would let you do is your group owner moderators, so the employees on your intranet, can delete tasks, and it wouldn't allow the external user to delete them.
Okay.
If you did want everyone to be able to have access to delete tasks and things like that, then it's just a case of clicking on simple all visitors.
Okay. Yeah. So can we have a look at now the business process?
Yes.
That we performed when we created this project group.
So if
see what sort of flexibility there is to add additional features, maybe, or additional functionality to this process.
Yeah, certainly. So if we go into the workflows and then settings, and then this is the workflow behind the new project. So first of all, if we click into settings and then click into workflow fields, you can see here that these include all the fields that Damien filled out to create the project workgroup itself. And you can see here that we've got link to employee, so that will allow you to select anybody that's a user on the system within your intranet. And as Damien mentioned as well, we add a file upload. So you can maybe upload one single file, or you can have the option here to maybe select multiple files. So you could have, in the case that we've just demonstrated here, we could have files for development, files for design, and maybe contracts for that project itself.
And I think we also talked about having, maybe there could be a series of sort of slightly different types of projects that you run, and this is where we could create a drop-down field so that you could select the type of project, I guess. So we would add a field and then create it as a drop-down. Okay, that's good. So can we have a look at the business process as well that's running in the background here?
Yep, so if I go into the business process, and you can see here, new project. So when Damien filled in the form and pressed submit, it triggered the business process off, and this is the approval process. So once it's approved, a notification was sent out to all the users. We have that self-hosted PHP block that created the work group and added the work group members. And then further down here, we've got the tasks. So for example, if we click into a development task, you can see here we can call it whatever we like. And in this case, the task was created by the project manager that was selected in the form, and the responsible person was the developer here. So these fields are pulled from the form fields that we've just seen. Now you can set deadlines and things here as well, the task description, and then finally we assign it to the work group. So you can see here as well, this is another useful tool. You can post messages to the workgroup stream. Mm-hmm. Maybe you can use a welcome message or something like that. And then we also have other action blocks as well. So you may want to drag and drop maybe to email the members of the work group or areas like that.
Okay, so it's quite an easy tool to use. There's no code required in this. These are pre-built action blocks, which as you can see, you can drag in, and then you can add the details of each of these elements by clicking in the settings tab. Okay. So we're going to log out. So we've created, we've converted our contact within the CRM to an extranet user. We've created our project group and invited people in and added the right content to that group. And we're going to log out now and log in as the client, and we'll see how it looks different from the client's side. Okay, so we can see we've logged into a client's portal, and this is obviously a new portal area which has been created for this client, a very blank screen in the middle. But you can see straight away that it's a little bit different, a little bit less cluttered than the main site. Obviously, the links that are available to this extranet user are a lot less. And then over here we've got some custom banners. So instead of displaying the standard content within Bitrix, you're able, particularly on the self-hosted, to add your custom content over here. So this might link to resources within the portal as this does here, but these can link out to external, potentially link out to external sources as well, sources of information as well. So over on the left, we've got a few links through to say some static content, a little bit about the business. My client can also see their own tasks and their own documents in here. What we want to look at today is the work group. So this is the project group that we created using the form, and they've got full access to this group, provided they've got the right permissions are set correctly. They've got full access to see the whole of this group. And as we log in again, we can see, as we saw from the intranet side, from your internal side, we can see all the other members of the group. So these would be the people that are working on the project, and I can see, as the client, I can see myself there.
So it's quite a common theme for these project work groups to maybe use the activity stream quite a lot, where they can talk to maybe individual members of the group, as we can see them on the right hand side here, or they can actually speak to the whole group themselves. So it creates quite a good dialogue. Alternatively, we didn't want to use the instant messenger.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's different ways of communicating within the group. Like you say, there's a messenger tool here, so I can see the message that I got from my account manager here, and I can message them back very easily. This is working in the browser. This isn't a separate application. So the client's it's not necessary for the client to download any tools at all to access this portal. As Andy says, you can use the messenger tool over there, and if I get a new message, I see a pop-up on my contact over here. But as he says, quite rightly says, it's possible to communicate with the group in the stream. So I can choose to post a message to the whole this project group, or we can just choose to send it out to individual users within the group. Okay, so if we just click through into the drive, then we can see the document we added. And if we go into tasks, just the bit we want to see, and into the design task, then we can see the post that was created. We were tagged in on this post, and I can review the image that I've been sent, and we can add and we can add our own comment into the activity stream here. Okay, so essentially you're working with your client with both with the same tools. You've got one single area where you can see a full history of all the activity on the project or the sub areas of the project. In this one, we're looking at the design, and you can show your clients some additional items, maybe some other resources or training items that you might want to see. Also, we've got which we maybe look into on a different webinar, but client can access their support tickets within here as well. So
I think it's quite important to note that with the projects being managed in the client side, the extranet side, it's important to note that the extranet users can never access your CRM side. So say, for example, your intranet side. So like Damien said, it is a slimmed down version of your intranet, but your extranet users can only ever see what they've been invited to. So in this case, the ABC project work group.
Sure. Yeah. Sure. Okay. And it's essentially the extranet is essentially a separate instance. They're just sharing. In this case, they're just sharing a project group.
And you've also got with the extranet, you've also got unlimited users. Mm-hmm. So you can create as many extranet users from maybe like we showed you from the CRM as you want, and it's there's no extra charge for that.
Yeah, extranet users are free. So yeah, there's no additional cost associated with bringing in your clients into the portal. So let's just log out of this area, and let's go in again as a main user. And the final thing I think we want to look at is where, as a manager, you can see an overview of all your projects. So if we click into tasks here, then I can see in a list view all my tasks. I can see them nested below my project groups. We can also see these as a Gantt chart view in here. So I can begin to see which tasks are on track, which elements of the tasks are maybe not on track in a page like this. We've got another couple of other tools here, so might be prefer to look at projects on a table view like this, and in addition to that, you can create custom reports to show any data that's in the system. Obviously can be reported on using the custom report tools. Okay. That's an overview of a process from receiving a new project to delivering the first stages of that project, and a little look at how, as a manager, you can see a dashboard or an overview of those live projects. So in summary, Bitrix includes all the tools to allow you to create a fully connected process from receiving a project to delivering a final solution. All the tools are included, including all the communication tools are included within Bitrix, including the instant messenger, video calls, which we didn't look at, but also things like activity streams where you can communicate. There is a very, very good client extranet portal area, which is customizable, particularly in the self-hosted. And we had a quick look at how you can do a projects overview. So many or most of the features that we've looked at are available on both the cloud and self-hosted solution. There are some additional benefits to the self-hosted, and that will be the ability to brand the portal area, particularly the login page.
Yeah, because that's it. So you've got, with the system, you've got two login areas. So you can have a branded port, your intranet side can have a branded version of that, and then you can have a completely different login branded screen on your extranet side.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so yeah, different users see different things. I think you can host them on different domains and things like that as well. Another benefit of a self-hosted solution will be that some of the automation is more advanced, and we looked at how we can, using some custom, some PHP code, we looked at how we can run a process that converts a CRM contact into a extranet portal user.
Yeah, with the cloud, you've got access to the REST API, which you can have, which creates leads. But then with the self-hosted, as was mentioned in the business processes, you've got access to the full API. So you can use that, and you've got a lot more flexibility and scope with that.
Yeah.
And you can include that in the business processes. So yeah, it does. It is beneficial for the advanced automation side of things.
Yeah. Page customization. So self-hosted allows you to fully customize the look of each of the pages, including things like, importantly, the menu items. So you can create different menu items to show to different sets of users, and like in the extranet areas we saw, you can reduce the number of sort of menu items you're showing to a client to make the look of the site simpler and easier to use for them.
Yeah, that's it. I think with the way Bitrix is built, it's built on templates, so you can specify one template for your intranet, and you can specify a completely different template for your extranet. So you may want to just change the system's colours and brand them completely differently, which I think is a really useful tool.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, sure. And then finally, we didn't look at any custom dashboards, but with self-hosted, it is possible to display sets of data graphically, really in any format that you want to. So when we talk about self-hosted, it's not necessary for you to host yourself as such. Partners do provide hosting solution for you. So if you want to step up from the standard cloud packages onto a self-hosted solution, you can talk to a partner. They can transfer the data over for you, and you can take advantage of these additional features. So coming soon, we're going to be looking at, again, at some point, CRM and sales automation. I think the next one, though, is HR tools, which I think is next week. After that, we're looking at an overview of self-hosted, benefits of self-hosted, and then every 3 to 4 weeks, we also look at an overview of business processes. So that's it. There's our contact details. If you've got any questions, you can contact myself or Andy, any sales questions or technical questions at all on those email addresses or telephone numbers. And if we've got any questions, we'll try and answer those. Questions. So, is project management available on the app? Yes. Yeah. I think all the tools. All the tools are available. Tasks, work groups are available on the app.
Yeah, I think the only thing with the app is that you won't see some of the customization, such as like the banners and things like that. You won't see those on there.
Yeah. So in terms of the branding and the look of it, it's that standard branding on the app. But essentially, the processes will be available through the app.
Yeah, I've got another one. Is it possible to add multiple contacts to work groups, extranet contacts?
So we looked at creating a work group for a particular company, and we added one contact to that. So yeah, it would be possible to add if you have more than one contact at your client's company, then it would be possible to add more than one contact into the portal extranet group. Yeah, absolutely. That's not a problem. I think you would run the same process that we ran. So if the portal already exists, the extranet site already exists for that particular client, you just run the process to add that contact, and it would add them into the existing portal rather than obviously creating a new one.
I think just touching upon that, I think the good thing about that is as well is if you've got working with a large client, they can also speak on the extranet internally.
Yeah.
So they can use the
message. About the project. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they can message each other. Yeah. Okay, I think that's it. We'll leave our contact details up for a little bit, and if you want to see future webinars, if you go to intraface.com/webinars, you can see up and coming webinars and book on those on there. We do the same. We do a webinar at the same time, usually same time every week. So look forward to seeing you on one of those in the future. Thanks for now. Thanks. Bye for now.
Bye for now.